Okay, in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to use layers to create a grid system that you can hide and show in InDesign. So I'm going to go to my layers panel and I'm going to create a new layer. Inside of layer 1 right now there's nothing because there's just nothing on the screen yet, but this is a way that you can do this by eye. Alright, so I'm going to begin by creating a rectangle, and as long as that rectangle is snapped to the edge here, you're going to be able to resize it any size you want. And I'm going to fill it with a light color, just a pale pastel color. Can you see it okay? Alright, and then I'll make another one, 2, and it snaps, and then 3, and I want to snap these right to the edge, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that's kind of sick. It almost fits. Alright, so that's just because I've done it about 30,000 times. Then I'm going to select all of these boxes together, and since they're all selected, they'll all scale together and they'll stay the same size. And then I'll just snap them to the edge like this. Next, because this is going to be a locked layer, I could use guides or I could use lines. I'm going to use lines though, meaning I'm going to actually use the line tool here. So I'm drawing a line, I'm holding down the shift key to draw this line, and I'm just going to keep it inside of the margins. And the line color is going to be a light blue to represent the traditional non-repro blue in the old graphic design cameras, and in fact in a regular camera color. If you're shooting black and white, the color light blue photographs as white, as nothing. And so old photos that you see of the sky is white because blue is not a color to black and white film. That's an oversimplified explanation. So then I'm going to drag these lines over, copying them, holding the Option key, so I know they're equidistantly spaced because of my wonderful rudimentary grid system. And that doesn't want to snap. There, now it's snapped, and now I can just remove the squares. And this is all on one layer here, layer 1, which is now going to be called grid. And then I create another another layer, and this one could be called type. And then I would create another layer, and this would be called images. So as I'm putting type in, I'll select my type layer. I can lock my grid layer so nothing can move. And I'll create a text box that's going to go from margin to margin on my type layer. I'll drop in a font of choice here, something headliney, such as folks heavy, and I like to usually size the type before I start typing, and so I can see that my type is too big, and I wanted to say that welcome to Design Center, but I want it all on one line. And I'll resize this line, clicking shift down arrow, and then just find that spot right there. Close up this box. Next text block. And then filling that up. Okay, now what this doesn't have is margins. Right, there's really no margins between these columns. So if I was going to put the next text block here, there'll be no air in there. Okay? So if I roll the hands of time back to here, and I take out all of these but one, and I add a little brick here, that's my margin. And then I'm going to need a color in there so I can see what it's doing. And I'm going to actually just push this over here, this line, so I have it back later. 2, 3, 4. I'll do it on a 4 column. And I'll do a 5 column. And I really don't need this brick because I don't need a margin there. And then again, I'll just drop down my lines in the right places, and I can just duplicate this one across. So that is the very quick way to make a custom grid system for your layout. And of course, again, I can add my layers for text and images. Oops. And there you have it. I'll lock and name the layer 1 grid. And then anytime I need it, I can just hide and show that layer. So I can look at the layout with and without it. And that is it.